Hey, welcome to the Fast Friday Facts for July 24th, 2020. Glad to have you with us today. I appreciate you joining and hope that we can provide some updates for you that will give you some things to be looking forward to and maybe answer a couple of questions that might be on your mind right now. Before we get into the updates, though, I wanted to take a moment and thank parents and staff members for responding to our surveys last week. We released those on Thursday night. And people immediately started jumping in and giving us some feedback on what their thoughts are, what their plans are. Reminder to the parents out there that that was not a final decision for you. It was just to give us some planning information. And it's been very helpful this week for us to start thinking about what those numbers might look like. We have 1,029 responses the last time I checked this morning. And we know that there'll be some more that will continue to come in. But we appreciate you doing that and sharing that information with us. Currently, parents, about 60% of you are saying that you would like to have your child return to in-person learning, and just under 40% are saying that you would like to take part in our interactive distance learning. We'll continue to offer those as the two options right now, and we appreciate you providing that feedback. That's helpful to us as we think about planning what our numbers will look like. Our staff, we had 219 people respond. That's certified and classified. And from that response, we had 74% of our certified staff who said in-person learning was the way to go. So about 26% said distance. And from our classified staff, 82% said let's go face-to-face if at all possible. And about 18% said let's lean to distance. So it gives you some idea of what the numbers are beginning to look like. Again, we're not at that final point. We know additional things happen on a daily basis, and that could influence your decision. So we're continuing to work through that and understanding that changes will continue to occur as we move forward. We do appreciate you taking time, though, to do that. It's not always an easy thing to do, and I'm sure there were things that you would have liked to have added to that, so we appreciate the comments that have been added as well. We're also close to releasing two additional items. One of those is an FAQ for our staff. The importance of that is it deals specifically with questions that we have been getting from our staff, and we're trying to make sure we have those answered appropriately before we release it. And we also know that once we release it, there'll be additional questions. So we'll try to keep that updated for you as best we possibly can. You can be looking for that release pretty quickly, hopefully as early as this afternoon. And so once that's out, we encourage you to read through it. Maybe it'll answer a lot of the questions that you have on your mind. And if not, please share those questions with us and we'll find some answers for you and update that FAQ. The second item that we're close to releasing is the commitment form for our parents. So we released the survey last week and we told you that that's not final. That's not your final decision. The commitment form will be once we release it. And once we release that, we'll set a deadline for you and ask you to comply with that deadline to give us the information to know exactly who is coming back, exactly who is wanting to work from a distance, so that our principals and our staff can start to build those class lists. We know that's an important piece for you. Everyone's always wanting to know whose room am I in, what classes do I have. So it will be important for us to see that. That release should come early next week. We'll give you the deadline once it happens. We'll share that through Facebook. We'll share it through an all call. We'll share it in a variety of ways. It'll be on our website. And once we share that with you, please check the deadline and then do your best to meet that deadline and sharing with us what your final thoughts are going to be. We also know that there were a number of things that happened yesterday. We want to make sure that you know that we're paying attention to those things. Yesterday, the Center for Disease Control released some updated guidance for school administrators as they're thinking about opening school. You can have access to that as well if you go to cdc.gov. The last time I checked, it was still available under their news category. So if you go in and look for news, you should see a link to that. It will give you the exact same information that is available to us, and it'll let you know what we're taking a look at. Yesterday, there was a town hall for staff through KDE. And when I say staff, I mean across the Commonwealth. So that's something that's available for staff as well. You can go back in and take a look at that and see exactly what questions were asked and what the responses from the state level happened to be. Yesterday, the governor also shared some thoughts during his press conference, and a letter followed from KDE asking individuals who were planning to start school before the 14th to give some reconsideration to that. But as you know, we had changed our start date to August the 26th already. So that letter did not really impact our decision making going forward, but we do know that that was released and wanted to make sure that you all know that we're paying attention to that. We also became aware that CARES 2 is likely to be released next week as far as a piece of legislation at the federal level. It has three pillars, and one of those pillars is kids, and it's about returning to school. And we do believe that there will be some financial connection related to the return to school. So we will be watching for that and working to make sure we understand what that means and what the ramifications are for Garrett County Schools moving forward. In each case of those things, we are paying attention. We're digging into it, trying to get additional information. Sometimes the information that's released is nothing more than a press release, and so it doesn't dig deeply into things. But we do try to make contact with people who have some additional information when that's available to us. I'll continue to say to you the same thing that I said last week. The safety of our students and staff is paramount, but the education of our students is critical as well. And we want to make sure that we combine those two things in a very, very positive way. Our district leadership team continues to meet daily to address any new information and new questions as they come up. We have a 9 o'clock meeting every day. We have principals joining. We have central office staff joining. Assistant principals are joining. So we're trying to make sure that everyone is up to speed there. PD is already underway. We have staff who are preparing themselves, teachers who are preparing themselves to provide the best learning experience regardless of how that's delivered, whether it's in face or whether it's interactive distance learning that's going on. Our central office team is visiting each school and working with the principal to help plan their next steps. And the Garrett County Health Department is along with us on each of those visits. It's been very, very productive for us, and we appreciate them participating. I want to let you know that we'll continue to keep you updated. If there's a reason to have a Fast Friday Fact on a Tuesday, we certainly will do that. Thanks for joining in today. I appreciate you doing that. Look forward to sharing any updates next week as we get back together. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And again, thanks for joining us.